Welcome to We're the Harrisons. We got current NFL player and superstar Shelby Harris. We got all perennial, all pro, all champion Chris Harris Jr. and myself, champion alongside Chris Harris Jr. Fellas, the Broncos have changed the wave in the AFC West. They beat the Chiefs in a close one by a late field goal. What do you make of the ascending Broncos?
Man, that defense, once again, is, the star of the show. Star of the show. That offense, though, we're going to have to figure it out before the playoffs. Obviously, the defense is still finding ways to win. They got to find ways to turn these field goals into touchdowns. In playoff time, and when we get later in the season in playoffs and all throughout the run, those field goals are going to have to turn to touchdowns. Luckily, Will Lutz has been money. Money. You know what I mean? I'm on ice in the veins. He's been money. But that Broncos offense, they have so much stuff to rave about, so much stuff to get excited about. They just got to get the ball in the end zone. But granted, they came away with the win. That's the big thing. They came away with the win against the Chiefs, which this is the team that's reminding me of all those classic Chiefs teams, just finding ways to win. But I'm telling you, once again, just like we said last week, I'd rather figure it out now while we're winning and then keep losing and trying to figure out. So this Broncos team is exciting, and it's all things that they can fix.
Right. When you play a tough team like the Chiefs that's had the Broncos number over the last 10 years, any type of way, any victory, you got to love it. And it's going to be a dog fight. Even when I was there, it was always either last second game-winning field goals, or we make a play and we're going to win the game. It was always tight games. So regardless of what offense or who's the quarterback with Payton or Bo, it's going to be a tight game. And they went out there and played hard, and both teams. But it's all about who makes the least amount of mistakes. And Mahomes did. He made the crucial mistakes in the red zone, cost his team points. And even though the Broncos didn't have a good red zone day, they did better on third down. They were able to possess some of the balls, keep the chains moving, and also be able to still put some points up on the board. Right, Dan Campbell. If you did Sean Payton, you would have had a chance to win that game. He doesn't take any field goals, right? But Sean takes the points and relies on his defense. That is the playoff formula, right? That's how you win games in the playoffs. They're not going to be blowouts in the playoffs. They're going to be just like it was last Sunday. So they do have a formula with that. Does the offense have to get better? Yes, it does. But this is a playoff type team, right? This is the games that you have to win. This play style in December, January. That's what it takes.
And I think I'm going to just double click on what you said, Chris, because to me, that's the biggest thing. They did not flinch in a game like this. And that's what the Chiefs bet on. They bet that you don't have the patience, you don't have the focus to do it for 4 quarters. And the Broncos did. Bo Nix set his feet. That throw to Franklin at the end before the field goal, what an incredible play call and throw. And then, how about Senator Sutton? His name is Senator Sutton. He's just there providing for the people every time you give him an opportunity. So, and then let's talk about this defense for the Broncos. They're without Alex Singleton and they were without Patrick Surtain. Not a lot of defenses are playing like that, missing their 2 stars on defense. So shout out to Vance Joseph getting those guys ready. That was a dominant win in a dominant fashion. And like you said, Chris, they won that type of game. Guess what it's going to be like against the Ravens? That type of game. Guess what it's going to be like against anybody? Probably going to have to see the Chiefs again in the playoffs, in addition to at the end of the year. You got to win games like this. And that was the biggest bonus for me, is that the Broncos won a close game against a tough opponent who needed to win that game, and they came out on top.
Well, the best part about the Broncos at this point is it seems like since Pat Surtain went down, it's who's going to step up every week, and it's a new person every week. And that's the trait of a very good defense, is that you have these players on there who are stepping up to the occasion when they need it. These teams, you have McMillan go through sacks, interceptions. Like, this guy's really doing it all. Doing it all. But you have to have a guy like that. Yes, you have to have a guy like that when your best defender is out. And then you have all these guys step up, and I just wait until Pat comes back. because this defense is still performing without the best corner in the NFL. So that is for me the craziest part about this whole thing is because that front four is keeping these guys in the game regardless because they can get to the quarterback, and that's the number one way you're going to win a championship. No matter what you have on the outside, those guys on the line of scrimmage, just like I know Chris could tell you, I know Ryan can tell you from those times when, when they won the Super Bowl, it made their job a lot easier having those guys up front.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes you, hey, that right there is the key to a championship defense.
Right. What about the Chiefs, man? Where are they at right now? 5-5, right? In Chiefs Kingdom. What does this loss mean to the Kansas City Chiefs?
It means they got to win out. Look, they got to win out the rest of the way, and they can. Don't get it wrong. But what was unique is against the Broncos, the Chiefs really did not run the ball, didn't try and run the ball. They know better than anybody. You have to run the football. So that was the surprise to me. The Chiefs have to go on a winning streak to close out the year, and then they're traveling for the playoffs. Not a problem for Patrick Mahomes, but they have to win out to be in the playoffs.
Man, for me, the Chiefs are just the lost. But it was a long time coming. This is what, for years, everyone's been expecting to happen to the Chiefs. We've been expecting for a while to have this drop-off in the offense, the defense, because Pat Mahomes has been doing 20 different people's jobs. You know what I mean? Like, he
Right.
saved them so much, it made it feel like you're playing 15 on 11 on the field with how much that Pat Mahomes does for this team. But now, the magic is kind of fizzling. You need somebody else to be able to step up and be that guy, and nobody else really is doing that for them. Travis Kelce's getting older. We need threats. And that's just not happening with the Chiefs right now. And so, yeah, little bro, then the Denver Broncos is, when little brother finally catches up in height to the big bro and starts bullying big bro, that's kind of what we're seeing right now.
And the Broncos, they made it very tough on Mahomes. Get him out the pocket, cage rushing them. We kind of talked about that on Football Fridays, how you have to team rush Patrick Mahomes. But Mahomes is the magic, he used to make those throws on me. Those wide open guys, dudes wide open, step ahead or whatever, those is catches like right in the breadbasket. And he's overthrowing them. He's missing guys. And I hate to see it, but you can't say he's the top guy in the league right now anymore. Because these are crucial misses that I didn't see Peyton and them miss this many times, especially in their prime. Right? Those are automatics. So I don't see him as being that pocket passer. I see him regressing a little bit. And maybe that's because the O-line isn't as good. Maybe that's because they don't have a reliable run game like they did when I was in. Kareem Hunt was really running then, right? So they don't have those type of options anymore. So I think the Chiefs they're done. It's hard to overcome this. They will have to play amazing every week to be able to overcome the struggles that they have on their team. And the AFC is pretty tight, right? I know y'all about to go over the AFC, the records. The Colts are balling, Pats are balling, the Bills. The Steelers is still open for y'all, Shelby. It's still open for y'all, but it's tight all the way around. I don't see the Chiefs making it.
I just want to point out, though, I think the biggest thing about the Chiefs that people are missing out is their downfall right now is the injury of Isaiah Pacheco. That he's such a workhorse for them. When nothing's working, he's kind of the guy that can get things started. And they've been struggling immensely with just Kareem Hunt out there. They work way better when it's both of them out there because they're two different type of backs, as we know. Yeah. But Isaiah Pacheco shows that how important and how valuable he is to his team, especially with an offense that is struggling the way they are with the Chiefs.
And I think everybody's just caught on to their motion. Everybody's caught on to the kind of window dressing, and now you got to play ball. And they also don't have the same skill positions like you're saying. Not just Pacheco, right? But I mean, Thornton's not the same. Number 80 there, I think that's Thornton. Like number 80 is not the same as Tyreek Hill, right? So Tyreek Hill catches those balls. So I don't think that the skill talent on the outside has been as good. They need guys like Worthy to play better and do things like that. But they also had Travis Kelce with a grown man touchdown in the fourth quarter now.
Yeah, it is.
Everybody
Yeah.
tried to stop him, and that was a grown man touchdown. Now, don't say nothing about him. So they got the
Yeah.
tools, but they need better skilled players on the edge. Hey, well, let's go to second down, fellas. We had some hot topic issues come up. You've got Jamar Chase, Jalen Ramsey, and you've got some firings going on. What do you guys take of some of those hot topics? Which one stands out to you?
Man, we got to go Jamar Chase and Jalen Ramsey, man. Because as a man, you spit on me, I'm gonna have to beat your ass. And I'm just gonna say that straight up. That's some of the most disrespectful stuff you can do, man to man. And I think we all can agree there's only one way you're gonna handle it if someone just blatantly disrespects you like that and spits on you. But then also, if you're gonna do it, stand on it.
Mm-hmm.
Stand on it. Don't sit there and wait for them to have to go to the cameras to prove it. Yeah, I spit on you. You a hoe. Yeah, I spit on you. I don't like you. That's how it's supposed to be. Like, don't sit there and be like, oh, I didn't do it. And then it comes to find out you hawked the loogie in his face. You know what I mean? That's why I'm just like, stand on it then if that's really how you feel about the man. Stand on that. Because you already took that step in being disrespectful. Don't hide, when you get called out on it, don't change it now. Because we're in a game now where there's 20 different angles of cameras. You're going to be able to find out who did it. Just like with the whole Jalen Carter and Dak thing, you actually spit on Dak, you can say spit on the ground. But it was towards Jalen Carter, right? You spit on this man. And so, of course, Jalen Ramsey is going to go brawl. Like that's the only appropriate response. Because if it was any other response, I low-key would be very surprised. So the biggest thing now, and that's the best part, that's interconference bad blood. They're going to see each other again year after year after year, and I can't wait.
It's hard, because I'm a guy that's been spit on in the league. It happened to me, I think, my second year in the league playing the Ravens down in Baltimore. I was talking so much mess to those guys. I held Anquan Bolden to 0 catches. Ray Rice just spit all in my face, but we played him in the playoffs, so he apologized. But, I definitely was hot at him forever, for a long time for that. But, I couldn't react. I'm undrafted. I wasn't making anything at that time. So I was like, I can't react like Ramsey is, And that's the only reaction kind of, in a football game. We're in war. Somebody spits on you, you're ready to fight, right? You're ready to fight off anything, really, in the NFL game. And so you knew that was going to pop off. But if Ramsey was smart, he would have just went over there, showed the ref the spit, got Jamar Chase up out of there. They got an easy dub, right? But this thing is happening a lot in the NFL. I think it's just, it's this new age, the YNs, what they call it, the YNs.
The YNs, man.
You play with them, Shelby. Everybody's spitting on each other, and the disrespect level for our brother and respecting the shield. And, it's a fraternity. And I think we're kind of losing that out there on the field. And hopefully we can get it fixed, man, because the spitting is like one of the lowest things you can do.
Yes, but I'm going to score this like a boxing bout, all right? I got 10-9 Jalen Ramsey, okay? First of all, it's cowardice to spit on anybody. What is Jamar Chase doing? And we all know he's not mad at Jalen Ramsey. He's mad at his quarterback, okay? Number two, all right, Jalen Ramsey with a nice combination, 1-2, and then gave another jab. And I'll give Chase credit. He was about to back up for a minute. You saw him. He was about to back up, and he's like, no, I got to take this. So credit to him, but that's 10-9 Jalen Ramsey. Stop playing with this man. And I agree, he could have waited and not done it. And at the same time, you get spit on, that is free range. I mean, you are entitled under the law to respond when someone spits on you. And that wasn't like a little spit either. That was full loogie. And we know mid-game, mid-play, there's some snot in there. So I got a 10-9 Jalen Ramsey. He responded the right way. Cowardice by Jamar Chase. I think he should apologize for the same reason you're saying, Chris. We don't need to be spitting on each other. We're already hitting each other enough. You ain't got to go that far.
Right. We got another hot topic. Right. Shedeur Sanders being able to come in, Dillon Gabriel on concussion protocol, right? We're going to see. I think he is going to get the start this week. It should be a lot better, him being able to have a full week to prepare. How do y'all think his first actions, his first time on the football field, how do y'all think that went?
It wasn't great, but you see some promise there. And I'm a big believer of if you give him a full week of preparation, and granted, yes, he's been here the whole year, but as we saw with quotes around the O-line, just like we've talked about before during the break. If the O-line doesn't know the cadence, it's pretty much a free-for-all. It's not an even match because they don't know the cadence, but the D-line's going off the ball, so it's just it's a shit show. That's the easiest way to explain it. It's a shit show. So I think a week of the offense and Shedeur working together, we did see the flashes, though. He can move around the pocket. He can escape. You know what I mean? He does have accuracy. He does have a different view of how he looks at things. That's going to be exciting to see, next week. I think that's going to be the coolest part, is just because he's going to be prepared. And we're really going to see, it's going to be his best shot. And it's going to be something that I think is going to be a great matchup with a guy across the room, Max Crosby, and a relentless edge rusher. So I think it's going to be a good matchup for him. I believe that Shedeur can be whatever he wants to be in this league. I've always liked Shedeur. I always think that he has all the talent in the world, and I'm excited for him to get his chance.
What I saw in Shedeur Sanders was what we see every year. Rookies who don't understand that they're going to get an opportunity and they weren't prepared. And say what you want, whether it was coaches, players, whatever. He wasn't prepared. And so I'm looking for him to grow up this week. Shedeur Sanders, you need to grow up. You were playing in your feelings. You were preparing in your feelings, not preparing for this opportunity. He had a great one. He's going to get more, but you got to be a professional. You got to understand you're going to get opportunities and you got to be ready for them.
And piggyback on what you're saying, you got to be ready because you never know as a backup when your name is going to be called. One. And you only get so many opportunities in this NFL, right? We know his last name is Sanders, but we see the opportunities that they're giving him now, right? They've been very slim, and he went 5th round. So they're treating him like a regular kid. And so this is a huge game for him. And I think it's a perfect week to start him. Going against a team that's struggling with the Raiders defensively. All they have is really Crosby playing very well. But other than that, he can throw on these guys. Their system is very, very simple. Their cover 3 scheme. So he could be this is a good game for him to go out there and get his feet wet. Does the O-line not having a cadence? I don't think people understand how big that is.
That's fire the coach. That's on the coach. Fire the coach. Because if
the D-line, I got y'all two right here. Y'all the O-line and D-line. Like, Shelby, if the O-line coming out the ball slow with Crosby next week, it's over.
It's over.
Right? They got to know the cadence. They have to know that.
Chance. That's an issue. Is you saying no chance because we go off the ball. And if you're listening to the cadence like we're listening to the cadence, we're going forward, you're going backwards. We're going to beat you every time.
Every time, man. So Shedeur was just set up to fail, but, I don't know how much longer Shelby will have that same coach there, but it's not looking very bright because the plan that he has and the way he's handling the media, even the way the offense looks, it's not looking good. We brought you in to be an offensive specialist, and you're not doing that. We brought you Deshaun Watson. We paid him $300 million. He severely regressed. All your quarterbacks have regressed. Even Baker. Did he have Baker too?
I don't know if he had Baker, but Baker was.
Yes, he did.
I think he got Baker for a year or two, right? Everybody progressed under him, and he's supposed to be an offensive specialist. So I'm not sold on him at all. They are going to make a change next year. So I do see that happening. But it's a big opportunity for Shedeur. Hopefully he gets on the same page with Judy because I think Judy just been waiting for it. He's just been running routes on air all year. He's ready to get a solid quarterback that can find him. So it's a big game. And I think they're playing the Raiders. They're vanilla defense that Pete Carroll runs, right? He should be able to have a good performance. And then, hopefully give y'all some life over there in Cleveland.
Yeah, I can't wait to see Pete Carroll. Can't wait. Can't wait. I can't wait. I'm gonna go out there. I want to make sure I give your quarterback and your running back a big old hug. I miss you guys. can't wait to see you again. Thanks for kicking me out. Thanks for cutting me in Seattle. Can't wait to get the revenge. I appreciate it.
But Shelby, tell people what it's like, though. I mean, some of those linemen on the Seahawks. You know what they're going to try and do. So, what's that feel like for you getting ready for it?
Man, because obviously the craziest thing is some of the guys, the way they do things in Seattle and the way they do things here in Vegas, they're pretty much the same. And, I can't wait just because, it's going back And I always thrive in games against coaches that, don't show love to Big Shell, all the time. So for me, like I'm just excited to go out there and put on a show against the Raiders. But the best part about it though, against the O-line, they have injuries on their O-line right now. Jackson Powers is out. They're beat up right now. They haven't been able to run the ball, and it's up to us to really go out there and make sure they still can't run the ball. And that's the thing. We got to take Genty out the game. Take him out the game. And then we got to go out there. And I love Geno. I love the way Geno play. I love all that. They don't necessarily have all the weapons that they need. This is the roster is all over the place with injuries. But I know this. We go out there, we dominate that run game. Let's see what type of game Myles Garrett will have. Like that's what I'm talking about. Because you got to think another 4-sack game by Myles Garrett. He's at 15 right now. We got 7 games left. Man, and that's what I'm saying. So this is against a team where a lot of edge rushers have had a lot of success, and so I'm actually excited because if he start eating, it's enough food out there for everybody.
Yeah, and if y'all ever get up and are able to just pass rush, right? I can probably count. Y'all probably done that probably once or 2 times this year, Shelby. So y'all haven't had that chance to do that. So and Myles Garrett is still getting sacks. He's still productive. He's defensive player of the year right now, right? And who do y'all got as the MVP? As we go in and we're about to close the show, right now I did have Herbert at the beginning of the year. He laid an egg last week, right? They went out East Coast. I thought he was going to ball in Jacksonville. He played good there before, right? But he laid an egg last week. I got to go with Taylor. Taylor, I think he's moved up to number 1 on my list in the Power Rankings MVP. Who do y'all got right now for the MVP finishing up the year?
Man, I gotta say, Josh Allen's performance now, multiple touchdowns, multiple games. I mean, he's ascending. He's a guy that is playing his best ball in November. We got to do that. You got to play your best ball in November. He's doing that. So I like him a lot. But look out now. Hey, Bo Nix is in this MVP conversation now. I mean, you're 9-2. You're changing the AFC conference, right? Drake May will be in there as well. But I think when you look at these Broncos with the defense that Bo Nix has, he's going to get opportunities to be in that MVP conversation. Maybe doesn't have the same numbers and not as dynamic, but you got to be honest, man. Yeah, Bo Nix is going to be in there. But to me, it's Josh Allen.
This year, my MVP pick is got to be Drake May. Nobody expected anything out of the New England Patriots this year. We thought this first year with Mike Vrabel obviously would be a little bit of they'd be a little bit better. But the drastic change in their defense and their offense completely, that's what's got them over the top. And the one that you have to give the most credit to right now is Drake May. He's making plays with his arm. He's making plays with his legs. He's doing everything possible for the New England Patriots to keep winning. And nobody would have expected them to be where they are today. So my MVP pick, without a doubt, right now, is Drake May.
Drake May has really impressed me too. Just seeing how he can throw on the run. He's commanding that offense. And Josh McDaniels is one of the tougher offensive coordinators I always had to face. He always had different schemes, different formations, tons of motioning. And if you are able to get that as a quarterback and be able to use that to your advantage, like Tom Brady did, we're seeing a little traits of that with Drake May. And they don't have all the weapons, right? But he has reliable weapons. So I like what he's doing. I like what Taylor's doing because he's, without him, the Colts are nothing. I'm telling you. Without that run game, and he's making guys miss. He's breaking a lot of tackles, and he's having the home run ball. So I love what Taylor's doing. And Josh Allen, did you say 6 touchdowns, right?
Yeah,
total.
Man, come on, man.
Right, that's dominant performance that you got to have. And so I'm good with that, right? That top 3 right there, that's a solid top 3 going in the MVP race. I hate always giving it to the quarterbacks. Who would you say is the top receiver? There's nobody really. Jackson Smith, he's going off right now.
Jackson Smith and Jigba. Look out too for Devontae Adams later on as these Rams start going. You know what I mean? He's still him. So you're going to see a lot more of him, especially when they start flexing that schedule. But to me, I mean, to your point, Chris, Jonathan Taylor's playing so good. People are going to be asking him who his nutritionists are. I mean, that's what happens in the NFL. When you come out, you play like that. People are like, Where are you training? What are you eating? Like, I'm getting on this Jonathan Taylor resurgence revitalization program because that's where he's at right now.
Right.
Well, that's this week's episode of Where the Harrises. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, and share, and catch us next week for the best football talk in the country.